my God! Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
Tatum drives down and throws it down. Wow!
The throw, rainbows it down the right side for Kyle Pitts. He's got it. He's there. Touchdown. Oh, my.
Oh, my, indeed. Welcome back, everyone, to the Sports Bits podcast with Moko, here to talk about all things Boston Celtics and the playoffs. And, I mean, that's mainly all we're going to talk about today because there's some big news as of Wednesday, June 23rd. We're going to jump right into it. Ime Udoka is hired for the to be the Celtics' next head coach. I'm really hyped for this. I mean, my little note thing is that Chauncey Billups, I prefer Chauncey Billups, but he's actually looking at the Trailblazers job, so we're definitely not getting him. But Ime Udoka, a really good assistant head coach. He's been the current assistant for the Nets. We should know about that. Before that, he was the assistant for Brett Brown on the Philadelphia 76ers staff. Then also he was a 7-year assistant with Pops on the Spurs from 2012 to 2019. And also he has NBA experience as a role player in the NBA. So that's his little resume. First, I want to get your all's thoughts on this Ime Udoka hire as like a person who's not a fan of the Celtics. Anyone can start.
I mean, for me, like, I just don't really know enough about him as a coach to like have enough of an opinion on him, but he seems like he would be a good fit for what the Celtics are going for. I mean, it's pretty much like, I don't want to like kind of like encroach on what Brad Stevens has done, but like it's kind of like a Brad Stevens carbon copy. I mean, Brad Stevens was brought up from pretty much the exact same way and was like carried by Pop to like, you know, be the assistant coach that he was, and then later the head coach that he was. So like, hopefully the same thing will happen, if not better, but like, I just don't know enough about him, but he seems like a good fit for what the Celtics need.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. I don't really know anything about him. All I know is that he was assistant on the Nets. But based on the resume that you just gave, I think he's definitely going to be a good fit. I think any coach that works with Popovich is definitely going to be a solid coach. They're going to be knowledgeable about the game. And you said that he has some NBA experience, so hopefully he can bring that to the table, even though it's just as a role player.
Well, apparently a quote that Brad Stevens actually handpicked Ime Udoka, like right after he heard about the Chauncey Billups news. He just like, all right, we got to like rush in and get Ime Udoka. So I think that's a good sign that Brad loves Ime Udoka. And also another thing that a little worries me about Ime is that he was the assistant with Popovich. And you think of how Popovich runs his team. He doesn't like to take threes. He's a very classical guy when it comes to the NBA. So hopefully he's not stuck. He's not like Pop stuck in his ways. Like hopefully he can adapt to the new modern NBA, especially with the young guys who are more, you know, I guess tailored to the modern NBA. So hopefully he can game plan around that. And I mean, like his resume is pretty good. He was on that 2014 championship team on the Spurs with Pop. So that's a good sign. And also he's with the Nets organization, you know, handled the three superstars really well. And also I don't really know how much he is about developing talent. I hope he's like good at that because we have a lot of young players. So hopefully with maybe a young energy as a coach, he'll be able to bring that. But I mean, that's like my main little thoughts and concerns. I like it. I mean, I prefer Chauncey Billups, but that's just my little take on that.
I mean, I'm not surprised that Brad Stevens picked Ime because they probably worked together as assistant coaches at one point during their careers. So I wouldn't be surprised if like their paths crossed and they ended up kind of bouncing ideas off of each other for playbook ideas or something like that, you know? So, yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, seems like a great pickup. Good for the Celtics. Hopefully they'll do a lot better than they did this season.
Yeah, I was just going to say that if Brad Stevens, you know, handpicked him, he's got to be a good guy. Definitely going to be a solid coach. I don't know, you were saying that hopefully he's not going to be like Pop where he's very old school. I don't think he's going to be like that at all. I mean, yeah, coaches are adapting to the modern NBA now. You know, you got to take threes. It is what it is. And the Celtics have good shooters, so I'm sure he's going to utilize it. So honestly, I don't think that he could do anything that would like mess up the Celtics' chances of becoming, you know, I don't know, maybe
jeopardize
a season or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, last thing I wanted to know before we move on to a little bit of more fun news. Oh, what's up?
I was just saying, like, definitely a playoff team for sure.
Yeah. A little last thing before we go on to a little more fun news that we were previewing earlier. Apparently, Woj said that Ime Udoka had experience with Team USA, and that's why he got like some like referrals from the guys who played on Team USA, like Tatum and Brown. So I guess that's probably why he got like a good vibe from the players. That's also why Brad Stevens hired him. So that's a good news that the players like Ime Udoka. That's a good thing. But again, my concerns about his previous coaching coaching tenures and what he's going to bring to the table from that and all that. But yeah, I mean, that's really it. I mean, unless you guys have any final comments before we get on to the Caruso news. So, all right. Next thing, Alex Caruso got arrested by campus police at Texas A&M.
The mall cops.
Mall cop.
Got arrested by mall cops.
No, that's worse than a mall cop.
Yeah, you're right. Campus police.
Oh, my God.
I mean, like I told you guys before we even started, like when I saw the news originally, I thought it was a joke. Like I straight up thought it was like some kind of meme or something, and I thought it was hilarious. But yeah, then I started like a Woj tweet about it. Stephen A. Smith was talking about it. I was like, okay, like this is legit. I think it's hilarious, honestly. I just think that it's so funny. Because I don't know, it's like depending on your opinion of weed or whatever, it's just a funny thing to me, especially happening in Texas, of course.
Yeah.
At his alma mater. Like, I don't know, it's just I feel like you just can't make something like that up,
Right. Like I the first thing that I thought, I was just like, how insipid can you be?
Oh, insipid, that's a good word.
Yeah, like how freaking stupid are you to go back to your own campus and just have a bunch of weed on you?
Yeah,
like,
I heard that it was I think like the specifics was he was gonna catch a flight out of College Station, which is what Texas A&M is. And yeah, they're like the TSA people or whatever found it. And I was like, bro, like anyone who has like an avid stoner like figures out ways to get weed onto a plane. You know what I mean? Like it's not difficult. Like, the TSA aren't exactly great at their job. So I don't know what happened with them.
So wait, is it TSA or is it Texas A&M police? I don't know which, or campus police. Which
it says he got like booked by the
Campus
Texas A&M police. So like his mugshot and like wherever he was like booked was from the Texas A&M police. But from what I understood, based on what I read, is I think like they called the police while they were at the airport or something like that. And I guess campus police showed up or whatever.
Well, the thing is that if you said that he was flying out of College Station, that's based in or near where the campus is.
Yeah, because therefore that
like their TSA would probably include a bunch of campus police as well.
Yeah, I don't know the specifics of it. That's just what I gathered from it, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of dumb. I laughed. That's all I want to say. I laughed. Because look at Caruso, man. He looks like that the reject frat boy. Reject frat boy.
Yeah.
That's kind of what vibes I get from Alex Caruso.
I don't know. I get like a 40-year-old virgin.
That too, man. Either one. But yeah, I mean, that's really I just wanted to bring that. I guess Reed and I wanted to bring it up because we were talking about that earlier.
I just think it's really funny. Also, how like no one is like upset about it, which is great. Like everyone's
no one cares.
Exactly, because no one cares, which no one should care.
It's not like LeBron got caught with weed at like some sort of college, Akron or whatever.
Did you actually see the tweet LeBron sent out?
I don't know.
I think it said something about like he was willing to like post bail or something for Caruso or whatever.
Oh my God!
Like yeah. I don't know what's gonna go.
Jackass.
That's hilarious. No, but I mean that's it. There's not much to say. That's kind of just being dumb. That's all I'll just like the gist of it. Yeah. But next thing that I want to talk about was the Sixers and the Jazz being eliminated from the playoffs. And like I want to hear your first thoughts on that before I like read out my little bullet points I have on that.
James, you want to take this?
Well, the Sixers, I was surprised, but not because like the thing with it was the Hawks played like the better team, obviously, because they freaking won. But like the Sixers have looked like a mess for years, and I've been saying this, and it's just showing a lot more now. The fact that Ben Simmons can't really do anything else other than pass on the court. The fact that Joel Embiid's an egg and can't stay healthy. Like, I mean, their team falls apart every few games, and it's frustrating to be. I would imagine it would be frustrating to be a Sixers fan to watch that kind of stuff. And I believe me, I know from experience because I had to watch the Suns lose for 11 years. So like I think that it's at their point in time where they're a good team, but they can't figure out the chemistry for it. So that's what I have to say about the Sixers. With the Jazz.
Hold on. Humpty Dumpty Embiid. Is that what we're calling him now? Humpty Dumpty Embiid.
Yeah. Humpty Dumpty
Embiid. I like Humpty Dumpty Embiid.
But with the Jazz, I was really surprised. I thought for sure that the Jazz were going to close that game out, and they just played like dog shit. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that. That game 7 was just ass.
I think the one thing that I think everyone comes to the consensus through from this playoff so far is that the Shanghai Sharks next year are going to absolutely smack the league. They're going to absolutely tear it up with all.
Give the starting lineup right now for the Shanghai Sharks.
You got point guard. You got Ben Simmons. I don't even know who would be the shooting guard, but I know you got Rudy Gobert coming in at center, Kuzma coming in at one of the forward spots, Joe Harris, small forward. I can't think of a shooting guard right now.
Oh my God, y'all are.
There is one.
Oh my God, y'all are brutal.
I mean, no. In all seriousness, though, the Jazz. I think a lot of people are kind of crapping on Gobert more than they should. I think that definitely he fell apart. There's no doubt about that. But at the same time, it was kind of like, all right, we knew that he was not a great offensive piece. He was going to be a 10-10 guy pretty consistently. But I don't think that we should have expected a big offensive performance from oh my God, from him. Jeez.
Photo.
Yeah, like, I don't know I don't think we expected a big offensive performance from him. He was going to be a defensive anchor. We knew that. So I don't know. I don't think that as much should go on him, but definitely he should be held accountable. Absolutely. The Jazz, I also thought they were going to close it out. I thought it was going to be like a 6-game series. But there were problems with Mike Conley. Donovan Mitchell, I think, was out for like the first game or something. They had problems. And then their bench pieces just didn't come together as much in the closing games of the playoff series as they were in the opening games. Like Jordan Clarkson was going off in the first round, second round as well for the first couple games. But then he just wasn't really, doing enough for what they needed. And as for the Sixers, I don't even know where to begin with them. I think I know exactly where to begin, and it's Ben Simmons. It was honestly miraculous to watch because I've been an NBA fan for only about like a year and a half, 2 years now or something like that, or like a big NBA fan. So I didn't know much about Ben Simmons when I came in to like the league, like starting to watch and stuff. I was like, all right, this Ben Simmons guy seems pretty legit, cause like he's a passing point. He's a good passing point guard at 6'10". I was like, you gotta be like, that's going to be an absolute threat. And everybody else thought that when he first came in, everyone was like, as soon as this guy develops a jump shot, it's going to be over. Not that guy, apparently. James always,
I never liked him.
Has the call. But a lot of people were saying that Ben Simmons, all he needed was a jump shot, and then he's going to be like the next LeBron or something like that. But now it's like, okay, Ben Simmons develops a jump shot and he'll be passable. He didn't take a single shot in the last 4 games in the fourth quarter. I think that is inexcusable for a first or second option on a first seed team. I just don't see where that comes in. So I think definitely a lot of the problems for the Sixers come from Simmons, but also, some other players weren't playing up exactly how they should be as well. Seth Curry had, a solid playoff run, but he definitely could have done more, I think, in terms of just picking up slack that Simmons was dropping, because Simmons wasn't taking the shots. That's my problem with it, is that if he was taking the shots and missing them, then I would be like, all right, fine, they did what they did. Ben Simmons still kind of stinks, but whatever. But he didn't take the shots at all. So I was thinking like, well, someone has to pick these up. and I thought that Seth was really going to be one of those guys. And Seth Curry didn't play bad by any means. He had a great playoff run, but I think that they needed him to step up and really pick up a lot of the slack that Simmons left behind.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you said you didn't know where to start. Now you went on a whole little Sixers rant. But first thing about Ben Simmons, man was a 3-time All-Star and also an All-NBA. He was on All-NBA team last year and also All-Rookie. He was a Rookie of the Year, basically, his rookie year. I don't know where that Ben Simmons was this year during the playoffs because he did not score any points in the last 4 games or whatever, the fourth quarter or whatever. That stat line, everyone knows about that. Point being, my whole big overarching thing about the Sixers is the process over. Yes. I'm just going to say that right now, flat out. Yes. It's over. I think it's over this year. I think it was fine last year because Ben Simmons was, again, all the NBA team. It was good. And this year he crapped the bed, and he went he regressed so exponentially downwards this year. It was sad to see.
No, but we were talking about it in February. We were like, is the process over? And it was like, if they don't win a title this year, then yeah, it's over.
Definitely.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. And also this makes me happy as a Boston fan to see Philly collapse. but yeah, that's it. And then also about the Jazz real quick. I mean, Ben Simmons, you guys have already said what you need to say, but the Jazz, Gobert is a liability outside the paint because if he has to guard any guards, they're just blowing by him. And this is the problem because they have really good perimeter defenders. Overall, that team plays a good unit. And then there's Gobert who cannot switch very well. At least DeAndre Ayton can switch and hold his own. Zubac can hold his own. Then you look at Gobert who just lets guards and small forwards blow by him. It's sad to see because we have centers who are pretty decently good in the playoffs still. And then looking at Gobert, it's just not fun.
I have a slight unpopular opinion, and I as much as I hate this player, Draymond is right, and I don't think that Rudy Gobert should have won Defensive Player of the Year. He can't win but just shot blocking.
No, I completely agree.
It's
especially
frustrating.
I mean, especially in the modern NBA. You think about it, the modern NBA, a lot of the centers have adapted. At least some of the centers have adapted. Gobert's still in the old 10 years ago. His mindset's still in the 10-year ago mark where being in the paint was okay, not just being stuck in the paint. He's got to focus on perimeter defense if he wants to be good. My next little bullet point is get Spider some help. Spider really needs some help outside of Gobert. The people thought Gobert was going to be his help. Nope. And that's kind of, it's good. I think I like their role players. I like Jordan Clarkson. I like Joe Ingles and Bogdanovich, what they did this year for what they were. They were good role players and they shot their shots they needed to shoot. And yeah, that's really, yeah, bless you. But yeah, that's really all I had to say. But one more thing. I have to give props to Ty Lue and Nate McMillan for both of they've coached up against two of these top teams. Nate McMillan and Ty Lue did a great job. Even though how much we crap on Ty Lue, he did a good job against the Jazz. So
this shows me that Tyronn Lue can actually coach a little bit.
Yeah, not being LeBron's shadow.
It might not be he might not be the best coach in the league or whatever, but he's never going to win a Coach of the Year thing. But he's this is showing that he's a solid coach and actually can teach these guys something and improve them a little bit better throughout the course of the season. Because most of the time, whenever we saw Tyronn Lue, it was just behind LeBron, and we all thought that LeBron was just puppet mastering him hella hard.
Mastering.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I will give props to Tyronn Lue. He actually did a pretty good job so far. Although they are literally about to get swept by the Suns.
We'll get into that after Reed gives his comments.
Is this another Suns and 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, another
Suns and 4.
Suns and 4.
All right, yeah. Because funny enough, we were actually going to transition into the Suns Clippers and Bucks Hawks next. So Suns versus Clippers, I wanted to say this before y'all give your thoughts, and especially about the first 2 games. Woj said Kawhi might not be back for the Clippers this series if they survive, and he might not even be back for the finals if they survive that long. And then second thing, Chris Paul is expected to return Game 3, according to Yahoo Sports. So that does not give me hope that the Clippers are going to win it all because I'm very neutral on this, even though I want the Suns to win because I'm a CP3 fan. Even though I'm a Celtics fan, I respect CP3. I was a fan of him since Lob City, and I want him to win a ring. So the Suns is a great opportunity for him to do that. And I mean, I feel bad for PG. He's playing so well. Reggie Jackson playing so well. I mean, it's sad to see this Clippers teams go. That's all I'm going to say. Like, this Clippers team has fought and scratched for everything they got. Ty Lue's a great coach. It's sad to see them fall to a behemoth that is the Suns. So it is.
I think it's really sad because, I think everybody wanted to see the full. I mean, we've talked about it a couple times. Everybody wanted to see all the all-stars, all the superstars out on the court, at the same time. And we were going to have these teams like really butting heads, for what they really were. You know what I mean? Like the Nets, having a couple injuries, Suns having CP3 out, Clippers having Kawhi out now. It's really just unfortunate to watch. So I don't think it should necessarily discredit what any of the teams are doing, but I kind of forgot where I was going with this, but I think where I was trying to go, something about, with the Clippers. Yeah, no, I like the Clippers this year because, Paul George in the playoffs has started to pick it up a little bit. He's by no means playoff P, but he's definitely playing way better than he was last year. Don't give me that look.
He's playing better than pandemic P. Let's give it that. He's playing better than pandemic P.
I'll give you that.
No,
pandemic P was trash.
He's had multiple 30-point games.
He's had good games in the playoffs. He's doing terrible against the Suns.
Against the Suns, yeah, because the Suns are a good defensive team. The Suns are difficult.
Monty Williams is a great coach. There's a lot to go around.
We're the best defensive team in the league.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. They're a solid defensive team. It's not they're by no means a cakewalk. So yeah, I don't know. It's just gonna be. I forgot where I was going with this again, but yeah.
Sad to see all the stars die.
Yeah, basically. It's sad to see all the stars be out because I wanted to see Kawhi Leonard play some lockdown defense on Booker, and I wanted to see Booker hit some big shots over him. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see some solid defensive matchups.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Suns and foe.
Suns and foe.
But on a real, I respect the Clippers, but realistically, I think that Paul George is over his freaking head and thinks that he can carry this team to the finals when that's just
by no shot. Means can Paul George carry the team?
Yeah, no shot.
Just because
I wasn't saying that you were saying.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that in general.
Yeah, no.
He thinks that he can, and he won't.
Before you joined, I told Makoto this. I was like, "There's no shot Paul George can lead a team.
There's no way.
He can definitely have he needs that other superstar
to
feed off of because when Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are both playing well, the Clippers are a dangerous team.
They are.
But Paul George has been shown to be one of the most, if not the most, inconsistent players in the league. And now Kawhi's out, so we don't really know what's going to happen with them.
Yeah, but I think that Chris Paul coming back Game 3, if he does, which I do think that he will, that's going to be huge. We're probably going to finish the series in 4 if that's the case. Genuinely. If not, then we're going to finish it in 5 because I will give the respect to the Clippers that they can probably get one game on us, but I don't see it going anywhere past at max 6, and I don't think that Game 6 is going to happen. So, I mean, I'm very confident in the Suns that they'll make the finals and that they'll be fine, especially because I don't think that Kawhi is going to be back for this series. I think his injury is actually really serious and probably wouldn't be back in the finals even if they did beat the Suns. So I don't understand why people are hyping that up that Kawhi is going to come back because he's just not going to.
They've had him as day-to-day since he got injured, but there's no chance of him coming back.
I mean, I wanted to say this about the Kawhi thing because even if he does come back, he's going to be 80%, 70%, the least, because he's not going to be prime Kawhi. If it was prime Kawhi, I'd be scared, but it's not going to be prime Kawhi, so I'm not worried too much because again, PG's really good. He's playing playoff P he should be, but he still has the essence of that pandemic P still in his head that's going to come out sooner or later.
It still haunts his dreams at night.
It still haunts him. So
that 1-3 that he took where it hit the side of the backboard, that haunts him. I swear to God, every night he sees it before he goes to bed.
And the one thing that I will say though, in the Suns' credit, because the Clippers do have depth. I will give them credit for. They totally have depth. But I loved how Mikal Bridges and Torrey Craig are now guarding Reggie Jackson because once they lock up Reggie Jackson, he can't move the ball anywhere. And that's that destroys the whole team. Other than Paul George being able to get a wide open look, because Paul George is slippery off ball, but he like when I saw that adjustment made by Monty Williams in game 2, I was like, we're set, we're good. I'm not worried. Like, even though it was a really close game and like it did get my asshole kind of tight. I wasn't worried. I did think that the Suns were going to pull out, and Paul George choked the hell out of those 2 free throws.
It was sad.
Ridiculous.
That would have iced. They would have won game 2 if he made those free throws, because they would have done DeAndre Ayton still like to the lob, and like I think you admit that. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to assume you admit that if Paul George didn't pandemic pee himself for the last minute.
Yeah.
So
brick 2 free throws. Like, come on, you got to at least make one.
That's what I was saying.
50%.
I was like, if you made one and send the game into overtime, like I'll give you credit there, but you bricked both.
Yeah,
it was. I think also the Suns fans are really getting into it now. Like, I think I've noticed that they're starting, like, the Clippers are starting to feel it a little bit from the fans. Yeah. I think the Suns. This is the first time the Suns have had a real chance for the finals, and they're gonna like pull all the fans are gonna pull all the stops.
Oh yeah,
to get
everybody
there.
Is ready for that. They've been waiting. You guys have been waiting for this moment.
Yes,
I've been waiting for this moment since 2007.
Yep.
When they should have won their first. Actually, they should have technically won their second championship in 2007. Sorry, I'm going to go on a rant for a second. They should have won their second championship in 2007, because in 1993, Charles Barkley should have won that championship against Jordan, but that didn't happen either. So I'm pissed right now, and I want this championship badly.
Honestly, the Suns definitely deserve it. I mean, they've been playing. So they're red hot right now. They are.
I got flashbacks last night of Booker's nose looking like Nash's did in 2007.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
Speaking of Booker,
insane.
Mass Booker coming out for game 3, like Kobe, LeBron, and I forgot. I think Richard Hamilton all pulled a game 3 mask, and they all went, they all popped off. So my thing about that, speaking of the Kobe mask. What are we thinking about these Kobe Booker comparisons? Because my opinions, I don't think it's fully set to be like the exact it's like he's the next Kobe. No, I think he's really good. His play style is like Kobe. Like, look at his jump shots. His hang time is basically Kobe. And I'll also mention, look at his shoes. He's worn Kobe like 7s, like the purple Kobe 7s every game since game 1 in the NBA. I think that's where he gets, and also I think he was mentored by Kobe like when he was younger. So I see a lot of Kobe in him. I just want to see him more, and I want to see more playoff experience with him. That's what I want to see, because I think if he gets more playoff experience, that proves his Kobe status. I think that's what I'm going to say.
I think that, in slight agreement with you, because I do believe that he's getting there. I think that this is the start of seeing flashes of Kobe. Now, I'm not saying that
he is Kobe.
Book is by no means Kobe whatsoever, but they have a lot of similarities. This is the exact same thing that happened with Kobe and Jordan. I think it's a similar case, that they play very similar styles, therefore you can compare them a little bit. Now, I don't know if Booker's going to have the same exact insane numbers that Kobe had certain seasons, but it's possible. I mean, this season was Booker's highlight to change into the next level of player that he's going to be. And
I think that next step.
That next step. I mean, I think he's only 23. I want to say maybe.
That's
24.
why I don't want to make any immediate jumps yet. Not like Stephen A. Smith, who's like an absolute idiot, saying he's basically Kobe now. I'm like, no.
No. But I think he's like 23 or 24, if I'm correct. And he's still on his way to his prime. He's not even in his prime yet. So I'm curious to see these next couple of years to see how far he goes. Same thing with Ayton. And I know that a lot of people have been also thrown out there that it's very Kobe and Shaq comparison for Ayton and Booker. Now, I also don't think that Ayton is Shaq either, but I mean, we're seeing a big step that he took this season. So, I mean, I'm curious to see how he does and improves in the next couple of seasons. So, we'll see how their dynamic works and how that big 2, big 3 keeps going, and hopefully something big comes out of it, especially this season, because that would be amazing.
Yeah, I think Booker's definitely on the right track right now. In terms of like the exact Kobe comparison, I think I definitely agree with you guys. Like offensively, we see flashes of it, but Kobe was also like a great two-way player. We don't see the defense from Booker,
Yeah.
which is fine. He's not known to be a defensive guy. We know that.
Right.
So I think that definitely separates them. But offensively, yeah, I mean his jump shot, his moves. I mean, I think. I saw a couple clips where Booker like Kobe was guarding Booker, and like the first move that Booker went to was like Kobe's like low post fade. Like he literally used his move on him. So like definitely Booker has offensive flashes of Kobe for sure. I think that also he's gonna have to. I don't know exactly what his mentality is in terms of like how, like driven he is. I can see that it definitely has come up so far, but I think like in terms of Mamba mentality, he definitely I think needs like a couple more years playoff experience to get there, but
sure.
he's definitely on the right track right now. And he dropped 70 points as a 20-year-old, so like he's only going up from here.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my last thing I want to like give it like thing. I don't know if you've heard about this, James, but Devin Booker is very calm and like very collected when it comes to being like as a player and like as a leader. Like he, like after they won game one, like, all right, we won, on to game two type of deal. Like that's his mentality. I'm like, I like that from a player. I do not like guys who boast around and like get all cocky and then they lose the next game. I like guys who take
finished.
it. Yeah,
Job's not finished.
Job's not finished. I think that was his quote, because I don't remember. I think
that was what Kobe said.
That's what Kobe said, and I'm assuming that's what his mentality for the series is.
Sure.
We're not finished yet, or game's not finished, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Point being, he's not Kobe, but I think he has flashes.
Yep.
So I want to spend the last, I guess, 5-ish minutes talking about the Bucks versus Hawks, because actually that first game is tonight. So did not expect either one of these teams. I mean, I expected the Bucks, but less of the Bucks than eat both of these teams, because I thought the Nets and Sixers maybe, I don't know. Point being, these two teams are in it. What are our first thoughts, and like who do you think is going to win? Because I did not expect this at all, especially the Hawks to be here in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right.
So I think the Hawks. James, you want to go first?
No, you got that.
All right. I think the Hawks are going to be in for a rough series. We've seen that they can still pull out the win when Trae Young doesn't have a good game, or not a good game, just when he's not scoring to the level that he usually is. I think game 7, he was like 5 for 20 or something like that. I don't know exactly the exact line, but it was bad. But they still ended up with the win. So I think that Giannis and Drew Holiday are going to give the Hawks offense a lot more problems than they're anticipating. And I think that they're like really going to hold them to some low scoring. And like we saw Kevin Huerter kind of go off in game 7 against the Sixers. I don't really see Kevin Huerter going off against the Bucks if they play good defense on him. I don't see that happening. Bogdanovich on the Hawks, has hit some big shots, so we'll see how he plays. But I think Drew Holiday is going to give Trae Young a lot more problems than Trae is expecting. Just in terms of, how much he's going to play up on him. He's going to check him really tight. Trae Young's going to have a really hard time getting around him. Pick and roll. Drew Holiday fights over those screens, so their pick and roll is definitely going to be uprooted a little bit. So I don't know. I think the Bucks are going to give them a lot of problems defensively. And I think that honestly, a lot of this series is going to come down to how these teams play defense against each other.
Yeah. For me, I mean, like, I do see the Bucks winning this series, mainly because the Hawks are a little bit beat up right now. Like, I'm pretty sure that Kevin Huerter, Bogdanovich, and Capella, I want to say, are like a little bit injured. Fact check me on that, Makoto.
Who is it?
It was Bogdanovich, Huerter, and Capella, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that's going to be a big factor in the Bucks winning. But I will say that, like, keep your eye out for the Hawks, because, like, they are a true dark horse in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not saying count them out. No shot.
Yeah, and they definitely can sneak out, a 7-game series with them and beat them. I mean, we saw that with Philly. You know, a lot of people thought that Philly was going to win. So I mean, it seems like it's the Hawks' season right now to make a big run, but we'll see if their run stops here or if it keeps going. So I mean, I think it's a little bit of a toss-up, but I would say that the Bucks are pretty confidently favored right now.
But even if the Hawks do lose in the conference finals, I think that they should definitely be proud of what they did this season.
Yeah, great, amazing.
They played so well this season. No one expected them to go this far at all.
No one, not even us. I forgot. Oh, they played the Knicks. The Knicks.
Yeah.
The Knicks. Okay. So like I was gonna say no one expected them to come this far, which no one did, but so the Knicks series was, iffy, probably, Hawks come out on top. I think, that was like 50-50-ish or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think anybody really expected Philly to lose to the Hawks. And the Hawks to beat Philly. They really have just done a great job of everything. They've brought the role players out. Trae Young, I don't really like Trae Young, but when he's not scoring, he's playmaking. And he hits his free throws. He always hits big shots. So definitely Hawks are going to, this is going to be a good series, I think. Hawks, don't count them out. No shot.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Hold on. I just wanted to fact check you, James. So the injuries currently are Bogdanovich with the knee injury. And then we have Kevin Huerter with an ankle injury. They're all day-to-day. And then Hunter out for the season. And then Cam Reddish day-to-day with an Achilles.
That's what
so I mean, my little quick thought. Yeah. So they're injured. And then my little quick thought, because they're 1-1 in the regular season. So they have the ability to win against each other. That shows a sign. Second thing is without the switching ability of Hunter, Bogdanovich, and Reddish, it's going to be it's going to be hard to guard Giannis. And I think if they play Giannis at the 5, he's going to bully like John Collins. I don't think John Collins would traditionally guard fast, big guys like Giannis. So he's just going to bully like Collins and even Capella in the paint. So I'm really leaning towards the Bucks. But if Trae Young somehow just dominates Drew Holiday or whoever guard they put on him, it could be like a flip flop. Like Giannis dominates Collins, but then Trae Young dominates on the other side of the court. So it could even out, you don't know, and then it's just up to the role players to, pick up their slack and be able to play well. And I think the advantage the Bucks have against the Hawks, I'm going to wrap this up because we have less than a minute. Middleton is there to help back up Giannis. Yeah. Who is there to back up for the Hawks that is like a big name? You think about it. Just, put that as a little thought, a thought bubble for your head. But my thoughts, Bucks in probably 6. I actually give Hawks about 2 games, honestly. They're playing really well. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to close it with that because we have 30 seconds. Do y'all have any last minute things before we close it out?
Suns in 4.
Suns in 4.
Bucks in 7.
I think it's going to be a 7-game series, Bucks and Hawks.
I bet. All right, we'll see y'all next week with hopefully some more, we'll see what happens with the injuries and we'll also see what happens with the series. So until next week, boys. Peace.